Growing older comes with its share of challenges, but it also comes with wisdom, the wisdom to know what truly matters. For many seniors, the suggestion of moving into a nursing home feels like a loss, not a solution. It means stepping away from the spaces that hold our stories, the routines that give us comfort, and the independence that keeps us alive in spirit. While nursing homes can provide care and structure, they often take away just as much as they give. Privacy, freedom, connection, and emotional well-being are not luxuries. They are essentials. When those are compromised, life feels smaller, less personal, and less fulfilling. That's why I've made my choice. I would rather embrace the challenges of staying home than surrender the dignity of living life on my own terms. In this video, we'll explore 5 heartfelt reasons why nursing homes will never be an option for me, and perhaps why they may not be the right choice for you or your loved ones either. Reason number 1, losing personal privacy. One of the strongest reasons I will never step into a nursing home is the fear of losing personal privacy. At this stage of life, privacy is more than just closing a door or sitting quietly in a room. It is about owning your space, your choices, and your very identity. When you've lived independently for decades, you come to treasure those quiet moments where no one interrupts you, no one monitors you, and no one tells you when it's time to eat, sleep, or rest. Privacy gives you dignity, and dignity is not something you can trade away lightly. In nursing homes, privacy often becomes a luxury instead of a basic right. Shared rooms, staff coming in and out without warning, schedules that dictate when you wake, eat, or even bathe, all of it can make you feel like your life is no longer your own. For some, this routine may feel safe, but for many of us, it feels like the walls are closing in, stripping away the freedom we worked our entire lives to earn. Think of Edith, a strong woman in her late 80s who lived alone for nearly 25 years. She loved her evenings with a cup of tea by the window, watching the sunset in silence. But after a fall, her family encouraged her to move into a facility. Suddenly, those peaceful evenings were gone. A roommate's television blared when she wanted quiet. Nurses checked on her at midnight, even when she was fast asleep. Edith told me it felt as though the last piece of her independence had been stolen, her ability to simply be alone when she wanted. The truth is, without privacy, many seniors feel reduced to being treated like children again, supervised, managed, and controlled. That constant oversight chips away at self-worth and leaves you with a hollow feeling. At home, privacy means choosing when to open your door to the world and when to close it. It means being able to reflect on memories, pray, or just sit in peace. That is why, for me, protecting my privacy is one of the most powerful reasons I will never go into a nursing home. Reason number 2, comfort of home and memories. Another reason I could never see myself in a nursing home is because no place, no matter how well designed, can replace the comfort of home. Our homes aren't just walls and furniture. They are living journals of our lives. Every corner holds a memory, every chair a story, every photograph on the wall, a reminder of love, loss, laughter, and growth. Stepping away from that feels like leaving behind pieces of your soul. In a nursing home, the walls are plain, the furniture is shared, and the rooms are designed for function, not heart. Even if you bring a few personal belongings, it rarely feels like yours. There's no familiar creak of the floorboards, no smell of your favorite recipes cooking in the kitchen, no worn-out armchair that has molded perfectly to your body after years of use. That sense of belonging is impossible to recreate in an institution. Take Harold and June, a couple married for over 60 years. Their home was filled with mementos. The rocking chair where Harold cradled his newborn daughter, the kitchen table where countless family dinners were shared, the backyard where June tended roses for decades. When Harold moved into a nursing facility after a surgery, he told his son that even though the staff was kind, "This place feels like I'm living in someone else's story, not mine." Within weeks, he longed to go back home. Because comfort isn't about safety rails or perfectly scheduled meals. It's about being surrounded by the life you built. The truth is, home is where our hearts breathe freely. It's where we can laugh without restraint, cry without shame, and sit in silence without explanation. A nursing home, no matter how modern, cannot recreate the comfort of walking through your own front door and knowing that every inch of it is filled with your life's history. For me, those memories are irreplaceable, and I would never trade them for a sterile room down the hall from strangers. Reason number 3, staying connected to family and community. A third reason I will never go into a nursing home is because it can create distance from the very people who give life its deepest meaning: family and community. At this stage of life, what matters most isn't grand achievements or possessions. It's the bonds we've nurtured over decades. Being near children, grandchildren, neighbors, and lifelong friends provides not only joy, but also a sense of belonging that no facility can truly replace. In many nursing homes, visits from loved ones are limited by schedules, distance, or the guilt families feel when they can't visit as often as they'd like. Phone calls and short visits don't carry the same warmth as sharing a meal together, sitting on the porch, or joining in a family celebration. Slowly, connections that once felt unshakable can weaken. Loneliness creeps in, and loneliness, as studies show, can harm the body and spirit as much as illness. I remember hearing about Margaret, a grandmother of 4, who lived in her family home for nearly 50 years. Her house was the hub of gatherings, birthdays, holidays, Sunday dinners. But when she moved into a nursing home, everything changed. Instead of daily hugs from her grandchildren, she saw them once every couple of weeks. Instead of neighbors dropping by for coffee, her social circle narrowed to unfamiliar residents she struggled to connect with. Margaret said, I feel like I'm watching life from the outside, instead of being part of it. The truth is, being rooted in family and community keeps us alive in ways medicine cannot. Laughter with loved ones lowers stress. A grandchild's hug can brighten an entire week. Familiar voices and faces remind us we are still needed, still cherished. In a nursing home, even with the best care, those everyday bonds are harder to hold on to. That's why, for me, staying connected to family and community is far too precious to risk losing. Reason number 4, control over daily life and choices. One of the hardest things about aging is the gradual loss of control. But handing over your daily choices to a nursing home is something I could never accept. Freedom doesn't always mean big decisions like moving or buying a house. At this stage of life, freedom is in the small details. What time you wake up, what you eat for breakfast, when you take a walk, or even whether you want to nap in the afternoon. These choices may seem simple, but they're the very threads that make us feel alive and independent. In nursing homes, life is built around schedules, not yours, but theirs. Meals are served at fixed times, lights out happens when staff decides, activities follow a preset calendar. Even personal care, like baths or medications, is often done according to staff availability rather than your preference. While structure may work for some, for many seniors, it feels like losing control of your own body and time. It can make you feel less like a person and more like part of a system. Take Robert, a retired teacher who loved starting his mornings with a long walk in the neighborhood, followed by a quiet breakfast of oatmeal and tea. When he entered a nursing facility, that routine vanished. Breakfast was served at 7 a.m., whether he was ready or not. Walks were limited to certain times, often supervised. Robert told his daughter, "It's like my life is no longer my own, so I feel like a guest in someone else's house." The truth is, control over daily choices gives us dignity. It reminds us that our opinions, routines, and preferences matter. Without that, many seniors feel powerless, which can lead to frustration, depression, or simply giving up. At home, you decide how your days unfold, and that freedom is priceless. For me, holding on to control over my own life is one of the strongest reasons I could never choose a nursing home. Reason number 5, emotional well-being and inner peace. The final reason I will never choose a nursing home is the deep impact it can have on emotional well-being and inner peace. Our mental and emotional health are just as important as our physical health, especially in our later years. A familiar home environment brings comfort, reduces stress, and creates a sense of stability. In contrast, nursing homes, despite their structure and support, can unintentionally foster feelings of sadness, loneliness, and even despair. Many seniors report feeling forgotten after moving into a facility, as though their role in the family has diminished. The walls are unfamiliar, the sounds are different, and the daily routines lack the personal touch that once made life feel rich and meaningful. Without the ability to live surrounded by familiar objects, neighbors, or pets, a sense of emptiness can settle in. Emotional struggles, if left unchecked, can lead to physical decline as well. I recall the story of Helen, a vibrant woman in her 70s who cherished her garden. Each morning, tending to her flowers gave her a sense of purpose and joy. When she moved into a nursing home, she lost that daily ritual. Staff encouraged her to join group activities, but they didn't replace the quiet fulfillment of nurturing her plants. Within months, Helen seemed more withdrawn, her spark fading with the absence of what once nourished her spirit. The truth is, emotional well-being is tied to independence, familiarity, and purpose. At home, you can find peace in small rituals: your morning coffee, your favorite chair, or simply watching the world go by from your porch. These simple freedoms create balance and joy. In a nursing home, the absence of these personal touches can make life feel incomplete. For me, preserving my emotional well-being and inner peace is worth more than any structured care facility could ever offer. We've walked through 5 powerful reasons why nursing homes simply aren't the right path for many of us: the loss of privacy, the absence of home's comfort, the weakening of family and community ties, the surrender of daily choices, and the impact on emotional well-being. These are not small sacrifices. They strike at the very core of what makes life meaningful in our later years. This isn't to say nursing homes don't have value for some, but for those of us who treasure independence, connection, and peace, the choice to stay home is about more than preference. It's about preserving identity and dignity. Remember, growing older should never mean giving up who you are. It should mean leaning into the life you've built, holding on to the freedoms you've earned, and cherishing the people who make every day worthwhile. If this message resonates with you, share it with your loved ones. Let's start more conversations about what truly matters as we age. And if you'd like to hear more reflections like this, be sure to subscribe to Elder's Lantern, where wisdom is shared, dignity is honored, and the light of experience continues to shine.